So I kind of want to talk about drugs from an American perspective for a little bit. Because, I've heard about drugs in the perspective of media and politicians and just regular people. And, of course, there are a bunch of different drugs out there, and they have different perspectives or different... People have different views on them, and because they have different addictive properties and everything. But basically, in the United States, most politicians, most people in news, a lot of people in media just say, if you're using drugs, you're a loser, you suck, you should be or you basically are a criminal, you should be thrown in jail or something like that. And, it got pretty big, the war on drugs got pretty big in 1971 with President Nixon. And then everybody knows how Nixon banned cannabis, and that was just a political stunt because cannabis is weaker or less harmful than cigarettes or alcohol. And so, and they, as in the U.S. government, has created this whole drug branch, like offices in the executive branch to just criminalize and rank all these different drugs. And they even put cannabis in the top level 1 drug category, which means there's no medical benefits. It's just super harmful, super addictive, with cocaine and meth and all that stuff. It's level 1. Level 2, OxyContin's in level 2 though. So you can see America has always gone the way where the money goes. They get paid by the pharmaceutical industry to push OxyContin and stuff like that. But then, they got pushed by like tobacco industry, paper industry to criminalize cannabis and everything. Some people say there was also a racial factor connecting it to Mexican immigrants, calling it marijuana and all that stuff. But still, that was in the 70s. They created the drug branch in the executive office in 1988. It's 2019 now. They're legalizing cannabis in more and more states. And people are starting to realize, at least the younger generation, starting to realize that we can't just throw people with drug problems away in prison with other criminals and then also just let them suffer with any withdrawals that they might have. It's better to just get them medical help, because drugs is dealing with your whole body chemistry and your mind and everything like that. So just saying that you're doing a drug, you're a criminal and you should be thrown away and locked away, that's like a completely wrong way to see things. Of course, some people also make the argument, hey, this is America, we should have freedom and liberty to do drugs as long as we're not harming people. And then some people will say, well, you might start harming people with drugs. Then you can make an argument, hey, well, maybe we just lock ourselves away in the privacy of our own home or whatever, because you can harm yourself just drinking a ton of alcohol. You can kill yourself just drinking alcohol in your home. You can drink alcohol and then go driving. But, that's just a counter argument is what I'm saying. So basically, all in all, I just feel the younger generations are starting to push back more on drugs. The older generations, all the politicians, a lot of people in the news and the media are saying drugs are bad and everything. I remember watching The Godfather, and you're supposed to look up to The Godfather, sort of, although he's a criminal. But he kept saying, we would do all these sorts of criminal activities, but we would never get into drugs because, drugs are bad and we don't want the kids getting into drugs and stuff like that. So even The Godfather was like, no, drugs are bad. So there's just been a huge negative stigma on all sorts of drugs for decades, at least in America. But I feel like it's starting to make a little shift. I want to say there was kind of a shift in the 60s with all the hippies doing all their drugs, but then that was also when Nixon started saying war on drugs, forget all these hippies and everything. So now it's not just hippies saying drugs are good. Now people are starting to get more educated with the internet and just all these studies and history also. And then they're starting to push back with actual facts. And that's what I really like. I am still a little worried with some other drugs, like meth and everything, cocaine. But I do still stand by the argument that it's America, freedom and liberty and everything. But still, it can be very harmful, just like gambling. But I don't want to make gambling illegal either. It's still up to the person. It's almost in the same vein of when super liberal California people say we need to ban sodas, bigger sodas, from being sold. Like going to 7-Eleven, you can't get a big gulp, you have to get a smaller one. Or even going to school, you can't buy a soda, you have to drink milk or something like that. And I think even with kids' meals at McDonald's, you can't just automatically get a soda. You get signed milk or juice, and then you can ask for a soda or something like that. So that, I feel like, is in the same vein of saying you're an adult, you cannot do drugs or something like that. That's just how I feel. You're an adult, you're not allowed to gamble. Yes, it is harmful, just like drinking soda, doing a bunch of candy, or eating a bunch of candy. Sugar has the same effect on your mind as some other drugs. Same with caffeine. So basically, I'm just saying it's up to the individual, and other people should also be looking out for their friends and family. But the government shouldn't intervene in that particular area. But that's my own views. You guys can give your own thoughts in the comments below. Like and share and all that stuff. We can all have a friendly discussion. But that's pretty much it. I don't want to just keep rambling on, so I'll see you guys later.